Muhammad Ali Joe Frazier, Sugar Ray Leonard Thomas Hearns, Marvin Hagler Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson Michael Spinks, Tyson Holyfield, De La Hoya Trinidad, and Mayweather Pacquiao. Each of these events transcended boxing, crossing over into the mainstream media. Now, in the biggest fight since Mayweather Pacquiao, Errol the Truth Spence and Terence Bud Crawford will engage in Superfight 2023. In a year that has given us Benavidez Plant, Davis Garcia, and Lopez Taylor, all hopes have led to this massive showdown. A relentless body-punching technician from Texas and a switch-hitting versatile assassin from Omaha collide in the fight fans have been waiting for years, with pound for pound at stake. In this breakdown, we'll look back on common opponents, as well as their strengths and weaknesses prior to checking betting odds and the tale of the tape before finally picking a winner. Finally, in the event of the year, the state of boxing breaks down Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence Crawford for the undisputed welterweight championship of the world. With both episodes of All Access now in the books, both Errol Spence and Terence Crawford are ready for July 29th, simply fine-tuning last-minute details and training. All that's left for fans to do is debate who wins and why. Fighters, including past opponents of both champions, have given their opinions on the strengths and weaknesses of both Crawford and Spence. While each is multifaceted and greatly talented, they're diametrically opposed style-wise. While Spence is known for his technically sound southpaw pressure game plan from the opening bell, Crawford employs more of a tactical wait-and-see approach, gradually downloading information and eventually breaking down his opponent, often earning late-round knockouts. When speaking on common opponents, most fans immediately think back on Sean Porter and Kell Brook, and both weighed in with their opinions on their experiences against the superstar duo.
When I fought Spence, I felt like from the standpoint of what do guys always say, the cerebral side of the boxing game, I felt like I was a step ahead of him.
Right. The IQ.
And the IQ, yeah. And I felt like I was a step ahead of him in that fight. I think in my mind, I clearly was a step ahead of him in that fight. But then you fast forward, so I always thought that was the big separation between him and Terence. Until I started to assess the fact that he's been in the ring with me. It's been now 3 years or 2 years since we fought, almost 3 years. 3 years since we fought. I think he's smarter now. And I'm like, if he's indeed smarter than he was when we fought, he's just as good, if not better than when we fought.
In there with Spence and obviously Crawford, who's the best fighter out of those two? Who's the king of the welterweights?
I think after seeing their fight, Porter and Crawford, I think you've got to lean towards Crawford now, you know. But styles make fights, obviously. Spence is a natural southpaw, you know. It'll still be very interesting. Everyone is still tuning in, but I think just with the way he dealt with Porter, I think you have to start leaning towards Crawford, just because of Spence's car crashes. He had a problem with his retina in his eyes. I think you have to start leaning towards Crawford when you're in that fight.
Right, and who's got the best? Who's the biggest puncher out of Spence and Crawford? You've been in there with both.
I'd say Spence.
Spence.
Yeah. I'd say Spence.
While Crawford scored 5th and 10th round stoppage victories over both Brook and Porter compared to Spence's 11th round and decision victory respectively, as Brook points out, styles make fights, and each fighter has strengths and weaknesses the other can exploit. Starting with Crawford, his strengths include elite reflexes, the versatility to seamlessly switch stances, and a high boxing IQ, which he uses to figure out and neutralize opponents down the stretch of a fight. Meanwhile, his weaknesses include occasional slow starts and a tendency to get a bit reckless, which could place him in a perilous position late against a dangerous Spence. For Spence, his strengths include supreme fundamentals featuring a strong, busy jab along with a responsible defense. He's also possibly the best body puncher in boxing, which could help slow Crawford down later in the fight. Many also overlook Spence's ability to box off the back foot, as he demonstrated in his brilliant performance against Mikey Garcia. While Spence maintains excellent discipline fundamentally, his weakness may lie in the fact that he has primarily fought at one speed and in one fashion, which has always worked for him. If forced to adapt, many fans wonder if he has the ability to do so. Betting odds for the fight have fluctuated slightly since it was announced, but have consistently listed Crawford as a slight favorite, with an over and under of 10.5 rounds at -270. In effect, the odds slightly favor Crawford either by a close decision or a late knockout after the 10th round. The tail of the tape gives Spence advantages in youth, being 3 years younger, and a height advantage of 1 inch, while Crawford's deceptively long arms give him a reach advantage of 2 inches at 74 inches to 72 for Spence. While fans, experts, and fighters have been split in their opinion on who wins the biggest fight of this decade, the official pick here is Crawford by come-from-behind late stoppage, with the caveat that Spence's body shots could change anything at any time. Either way, the hope here is that this superfight lives up to its billing. Here at the State of Boxing, we can't wait to tune in on July 29th to find out. If you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe.